Hello race fans and welcome to the JACKOCAR Kia Series Season 2 for the first round of the regular season, starting off in Japan. I am a commentator, Peter Knight, and joined with me is my team speed buddy, Sullivan Lewis, also known as Speed Risky. Welcome.
Thank you very much. This will be an interesting start to the season.
I've bottled it already. Unlike Cup Series so far. Jinxed myself. Gave myself my own commentator's curse. Let's go. So we're just waiting on quite a few people. I know there have been struggles to get invites out. But while we wait, we can go through. There's a lot of new drivers to introduce to JACKOCAR. And I believe there's a few reserves racing, maybe not a full grid. I believe 18 drivers are expected. I would have raced if I was asked, but I don't want to win. I don't want to take away an easy win for someone.
Well, that's why we're in the booth, isn't it?
That's why we're in the booth. Yeah, we're in the booth. So there are 10 drivers that were in Kia Series last season taking part in this season. We've got at least 7 on the grid that are new drivers, and the reserve is in for regular driver Jess, who will be out first in qualifying. I'm not too sure what the strategy is like. I haven't done Japan on this game yet. All we know, it has to be 2-stop, wet or dry. Sullivan, you done much of Japan?
No, I don't think. I think I've done a 5-lap race in Japan weeks and weeks ago and never finished it. So that, shows how difficult the track is in itself. I think it will be very interesting for a lot of these drivers, even though they're in the lower tier. There's still some quick drivers in here, so close at the top. I think maybe get a shock winner and maybe one of the new guys.
It may be so, yeah, definitely can see someone pulling it out the blue. I just need to change a quick setting. I'm pressing the wrong buttons here, so this is great.
It's a good start to the
It is a good start. It is very professional start. That's not what we want. This is what we want. This is no offense to you, Sully, but I had to turn you down a little bit because you were in my ear compared to the game sound extremely loud. So I assume you'd be exactly the same in game. Just turned you down a little bit, but let us know otherwise my sound when it comes to the drivers on track, it's not too loud. All the settings for the broadcast ahead of qualifying. I believe we're just waiting on 2 drivers.
My microphone does tend to be quite loud, especially for one hub. I had to turn it down. So, but this is JACKOCAR. This is Kia Series. Similar, get the qualifying format underway. For those that don't know it, every driver has a time slot that will go out to set 1 lap, out lap, fast lap, in lap, and they don't get another shot at it. So if they miss their time slot or just don't get a lap or it's invalidated, that's it. They will start from towards the back of the grid. So weather dependent, might get some faster times at the start if it rains towards the end, and vice versa. So it's a good concept that we brought in 2 seasons ago, I think. And then
season 2. Yeah, well, because season 1 was full. Season 1 was everyone can take part in the whole of qualifying. Basically, last across the line really counted. But in this qualifying session, it's all about finishing the races and where you are in the championships to how early you go out. So if you're down at the bottom on very low points, you'll be one of the first drivers to go out. If you're top of the championship or near the top, you'll be one of the last drivers to go out. Hello Mata, welcome to the stream. And if there's interchangeable conditions, as you mentioned, Sully, if it can be raining at one time or another. For example, I think it was raining in France. Yeah, France Cup Series. The race just gone. for Cup Series. If you want to check it out, be sure to go on to the videos. It should be the most recent stream. The interchangeable qualifying really mixed up the grid for all the fast drivers that had who had to set a time on inters were starting near the bottom, and all the drivers that managed to set a time on the soft tyres were starting in the front, so it really mixed the grid up.
Did indeed. I watched that one myself because I didn't get to participate, but just new game showed how much I actually did miss JACKOCAR after winning the pre-season race and disappearing for a month.
He's set.
I had to drop that in.
He's confident. But are you confident for Bahrain on Thursday?
Confident, no, but looking forward to it, yes. I feel Bahrain's a track I've struggled on, but can hopefully get the best out of the car and finish up there. I know you and Iceman or Ben do quite well around there, so I'll be aiming for your times, but I'll be a bit far off, I reckon.
Yeah, so we got 17. I believe it might just be Waze who we're missing. I don't see his name. What I can see, it is Waze. I believe we should go.
Yeah, no, from the official boss. Yeah? 1905.
1905. So 2 minutes basically. Under 2 minutes from now, we should be going green, as some drivers getting a little bit impatient. So, new boys to JACKOCAR. It will be, some of them will be coming out on track first. So, Liam New, who's actually a profound commentator, has decided to jump on the wheel or pad and try and do both, basically. Do what I do. Although I started off racing rather than commentary, so you can see how bad I am now compared to my racing. But matter, none of that matter. So yeah, Liam New, one of our new drivers. Jake Warrior, I commentated on this driver in One Hook Prospect last season. Yeah, if as you mentioned, Yuri, we can go without Waze if he's not here in 1 minute. 1 minute, Yuri. Patience. Yeah, Jake Warrior, who is our host as well. Had a little bit more trying to get people in, but we sorted it out in the end. Yeah, he's a quick driver. Finished third in that season. So, one to watch here in Kia Series. Andy Lincoln. I'm not too sure. I don't think I've heard of this driver or seen him race. So, could mix it up near the top or mid-pack, or just get a surprise result. Gareth Hall, another new driver. Someone I don't recognise, but could for a spanner in the works. I don't want to butcher the name. I think Isaac. I'm not going to butcher the surname, but another new driver joining us in Kia Series. Danny Quinn, also known as Speed Quinn. Not only did he join Kia Series, but we slapped him up in our drivers list as well. And Noah Clark came in last minute actually as a new driver. A VSR buddy of Jess, so those two will probably be ducking out in a party during races. Jess not here, who is Luke Etheridge, another commentator actually, who that makes better sense. There it is, the magic poop cannon. There we go. Is Andy Lincoln? Yeah, Andy Lincoln is magic poop cannon. That's why. Yeah, I'm so used to PlayStation names and people's real names that we use in the theatre. It makes it a bit more professional. People using first names and surnames. But yeah, returning drivers are Kyle Langston, Matt Tree, also known as Indecisive, another very good commentator on track. Billy Watts, Bazza or Barry Baldwin, Waze. Did he make it into the lobby? He did. Look at that. He's in lobby. Matt Rosamond, also known as Speed Newgarden, Chris Morris, Yuri Hertelager. I will butcher that as well as many times as I want to because he can't do anything about it. Niels Heverkate, or however you pronounce it as well. Please butcher me in the comments. I know you. I saw you there, Niels. Oh, is someone leaving or joining? Soon to disconnect though. Me? Oh, Waze. Yeah, Waze, maybe. And Jamie Bromley, who will be the last driver out on track as he finished the highest in last season without being promoted to Cup Series. So drivers that were promoted were MK Bourne, Easty Mats and Vitinho. They're now Cup Series and competing pretty well, to be fair to all of them. It's dry in quali, and we got a little bit of time before our first driver comes out on track. Will we get a weather prediction? Will we get a weather prediction in chat? Ask about it, see if we can see if it's wet or dry in the race.
By the looks of the clouds, dry quali all the way through. However, the race, as you say, can vary. Now, in terms of the race itself, this is going to be a long one for the drivers. Japan is a medium range circuit. There's about 27 laps, I think. So, buckle in and get ready for a long one.
Two-stop dry would be soft, medium, soft, respectively. Or maybe if you're going to expect a safety car, maybe do soft, medium, medium. Maybe just get undercuts on both stints to try and mitigate a way of not getting caught out by the safety car. But if a VSC comes out, virtual safety car, they can pit under that. That's the only time you can pit under a caution, as NASCAR call it, a caution. And full caution, no pitting unless you have significant damage, and that will be asked for by the stewards. If you are seen pitting under safety car, you will be requested footage to show that you have a minimum of a full orange front wing damage or half red damage. So that's going to be interesting to see who can either benefit from getting damage at turn 1. Turn 1 can always be messy. No matter how fast or clean the drivers can be, turn 1 can always be completely different every time. Like it can be no crashes or everyone crashes.
Yeah, this track as well. The turn 1 has been the nature of it is the fast sweeping right-hander. You can have drivers up the inside, round the outside, drivers on the grass. So it will be an interesting one to watch as we have our first driver out of the pit now.
We do indeed. Let me find him. Did he change his name? Oh, it's Bob O'Reilly. It is Bob O'Reilly. I thought I recognised that PlayStation name. Jacko got his voice back. Who knows? Who knows? He's still got to tell us his wonderful story about his trip to London. If you want to know about that, you can ask him. Or if you were up at Glasgow for the JACKOCAR go-karting event, you will know exactly what happens. Or what may or may not have happened. It could not have happened. It may not have happened. So only Jacko can tell you what could not have happened. I'm babbling on, Risky, help me. I'm babbling.
You really are.
Ah, waffling.
Anyway, as we get now to do something which I've always been jealous of in Cup Series. The commentators get to pick their favourite liveries of the week.
Ooh, I forgot about that. I forgot. I was just looking forward to going. I was just looking forward to doing the lights out intro. Owen ELT Owen eat your heart out when I do that, because the last time I did a JACKOCAR commentary, it was me and Redmat at Monaco last season for Kia, and Waze glitched the lobby and disconnected me and Redmat from the lobby at lights out, so we missed the first 2 laps. But here we have Baba Riley, Luke, going to set his first lap. Take us through, Risky.
So down the main start-finish straight, then into the sweeping turn 1. goes straight into turn 2. You've got to try and hit that apex. Runs out a little bit wide onto the curb as we go through the long S section of 3, 4, 5 and 6. Turns up to 7 over that curb a little bit, but not too bad. Run it out wide, but not too far, because you have to cut right and get the run through 7. Here we go then, all the way around the long left-hander. Then you've got to prepare yourself, get right over to this left-hand side as you hit the first degner of turn 9. Turn 8 is a little kink. Before that you don't really notice it. Through turn... that was turn 9. This is the kink of turn 10, and then we go around turn 11, which is probably one of the most difficult corners to get right, but can also prove for some good overtaking. And then power down on the exit as we go all the way around through turn 12, just coming up here. This is flat for these drivers in these cars. Then we go around 13 and 14 until we hit the throttle pedal all the way flat through up towards the left-hander of 130R. Will we keep it flat on this lap, or will we have a little lift? It is the first lap. It's the very first lap, I imagine, for a few of these drivers. We do go flat, so that's nice to see. Then into the final couple of corners over that curb, you can push it a little bit, but as this is his first banker lap time, you don't imagine it's too much of a push lap over the left hand side towards the line. And the first lap is a 31.6, so we'll be looking to see a couple of improvements, I feel, on that lap. But again, first lap, banker lap, so not too bad there.
Yeah, I noticed Evil Dragon has retired. Not too sure where he retired. I think on the minimap. No, it's not near the hairpin. That's another driver. But we're just watching Jake start his lap, and he's invalidated. But there is a rule now in JACKOCAR that you have to finish the lap, even if you're invalidated. You can't pit. You're not allowed to pit because you have to cross the line. Otherwise, you could get an advantage. Not finishing the lap, for example. So Jake must finish his lap.
It's a lovely livery.
It is very nice, yellow and is that purple? I can't tell whether it's the light making it purple.
It's a purpley colour. It's quite a nice livery. Gareth's from the 1990s. It looks. Retro livery.
Oh, Magic Poop Cameron's had an off on his outlap. He's had to cut the final chicane. He is going to go around and set a lap. Some might say it's sensible because he cut the final chicane. It's going to be invalid, but yeah, you have to finish the lap. Maybe it'd been more sensible to pit and just go on with it. You had an excuse. You got no front wing. You're just going to be an irritant to any of the drivers on track. Speaking of which, Gareth, new driver, is coming through turn 1 and heading towards the S section. This is where it's going to get tricky. Will Magic Poop Hammond get out of the way? He does, very sensibly. Now to the tricky S section. Yellow flag flickering still for... Is that grey on Magic Poop Cannon's main livery? Yeah, he's going to go slowly. I think there's another car that might be behind him. I think it's Speed Quinn on an outlap. No contact there. If there was any contact, I think we'd have seen people dropping down with grid penalties, getting 5 place grid penalty for causing a collision in qualifying. No one yet to beat the first time on the board of a 31.6. Everyone looking like they're going to start on soft tyres. So we did get confirmation it's going to be a completely dry race, but there is going to be a temperature drop, so that could benefit some drivers on tyre wear and extending tyre stints. Purple middle sector. Could this be our new provisional pole position? Through, nice cut, using all the curb. And up to the line. Does he keep it tight? He does, up to the line. Oh, that's a decent lap time. 29.3. 2.3 seconds quicker than Baba Riley. And the pace
across Kingston was purple in first sector and has spun at the second Degner, so that's turn 10, I think.
We're about to come on board with him. We were about to go on board with him. But yeah, we'll go on board with our Team Speed compatriot Speed Quinn as he comes through the S's. I think I pressed the button to change the camera angle. I have. There it is. We'll go on to broadcast again. Orange and black from Quinn. No hint of blue. No hint of speed blue. Purple first sector though. Could be getting to the 28s. Do you think that'd be a reasonable target? 28s. Track's gripping up.
Yeah, definitely mid to high 28s. I think on the final few runners. I was going to say as well before King Jin had that spin. We commentated on him last season, didn't we? In one hub, and he had a pretty good season. But he won
the championship. I forgot to mention he was prospect winner. Yeah, that's Isaac King Jin. A little bit of traffic for Quinn coming through 130R, but more of a slipstream benefit than traffic. Down, heavy braking into the final chicane. Up to the line. Is this going to be the fastest of everyone? It is indeed, and we are in the 28s. 28.7, 6/10 improvement on Gareth's provisional pole time. Up next, who's up next? Kingen finished his lap. Sensible, because at the moment he's going to be ahead of at least Magic Poop Cameron. Kaya is starting a lap. I believe VSR Clark is coming through Spoon. He is. And he's got Indecisive up ahead of him on an out lap, but Indecisive is going to be far enough ahead that is not going to get in the way, because VSR Clark is finishing the lap. Not purple in the second sector, so not looking to challenge P1, but could slot himself on the front row of the grid. Tight run up to the line. This is a nice livery as well. Up to the line. It goes between Gareth and Babbo Riley into third place. Full second and nearly a half on Babbo Riley. Up next, we've got Kaya. Returner, full time. Was a reserve. Got a little bit of traffic coming up. It might be lag. I thought he was going to lose it there, but that might have just been a little bit of lag coming through Spoon. It looked like he tried to avoid Quinn. Nearly got caught on the grass. Came back across, but by the time he came to the entry of Spoon, he had it straight. Purple in the second sector. Is this some pace from Kaya? It is valid lap time. Round the chicane. Beautifully done. On the power nice and early. Up to the line. DRS, does he hang it tight like everyone else? He does. Up to P5. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a purple glitch. But at the moment, people are starting to find their feet and setting lap times. Indecisive coming through 130R now. Mixed colours of all bright yellow. We've got green, light blue, and dark blue as well. Some sponsors on there as well. He hasn't validated, but up to the line, he did do a 31.4. That would have put him ahead of Babarali himself as well. So unfortunate for Indecisive to invalidate his lap time. Next we've got Bill coming through the middle sector. Opinions on Bill's livery?
I quite like it. Bill always has that little bit of green in there, and this season he's gone a little bit different, a little bit rogue with the blue and white, but it works. As he invalidates his lap, every time I see to follow someone on board, they invalidate their lap. But anyway, yeah, current favourite livery is between Bill's or whose was it, or VSR Clark's.
Who was purple and yellow? Jake, might have been Jake. Was it Jake? Jake's livery was good. I like Jake's. He's one contender. Who we got next? Waze is starting a lap. Bazza was in the S's and is backwards in his brawn. Not what he wanted. As
you said that for Bazza, Waze slid through turn 1 sideways, so his lap will be highly hindered in the first sector.
Oh, Bazza's in the wall again. Flip back to Bazza. He's at the wall coming towards the Degners. That's a very tricky corner as well. On the exit. Does he get in the way of Waze? Waze is coming through quite quickly. Waze does get through. So Bazza will finish this lap. Oh, Waze goes very wide. Bazza's gone for another spin. Waze ran wide. Did he invalidate his lap time? He didn't. Kept it on. Well, it didn't look like it was on track, but it is purple in the first sector.
If he's actually still purple, then Waze has some pace, because he went very wide in turn 1. So, interesting to see if that is still a glitch in the game, as off the track once again he goes.
Nah, I think he kept it on. Just kept it on. Someone's hacked into Baz's car. What do you mean? He's got no grip. He's got no grip. Purple middle sector, allegedly 15-3. We'll keep an eye on that sector split. 115, just to get a gauge of. Oh, that's very wide. Oh, that's not one you want to go through. Final chicane up to the line. He won't be getting pole position. Will he get ahead of many other people? I don't know because I pressed a button. No, he went in the pits. Did he go in the pits?
Session, apparently.
He just disappeared.
Yeah, he did indeed.
Absolutely just disappeared. Clouds coming through the S's. Bazza's got no front wing. He will finish a lap. Newgarden is on a run.
Slipstream.
Yeah. Who's that ahead of him? Oh, it's Yuri. I believe that's Yuri giving him slipstream. He's purple middle sector. I'm not too sure whether he'll be able to get pole position. But into the final couple of corners. Heavy braking down to second. Should shift up early to third. Early on the power. Up to the line. Keep it tight to short his run. It's not pole, but he's on the second row. He slots himself into third position. And now he can possibly give slipstream to his speed teammate down the main straight of Yuri as he starts his lap. Bazza finished his lap 2:16, but gets it ahead of a lot of people. Cloud Mozza is next, down towards 130R. 1:11.9. Not too sure whether that is good enough.
This could be a decent lap.
This is going to be a good. Oh yeah, this might be good enough indeed. Towards the line, it is pole position by a 10th and 6,000ths. And it's Cloud Mozza knocking Speed Quinn off provisional pole. And Newgarden down to 4th.
We have Yuri in the gravel at turn 9, coming round the right hand. The second Degner must have just missed his braking point or even hit the curb into turn 8, because that's his lap road.
Oh, it's another spin.
And that's his qualifying over a Speed. Newgarden waves.
Wait, Splinter's retired. I've just seen on my screen, Splinter retired. He was last. He was supposed to be last out on track. Was Splinter, and he has retired from the session, so he will not be setting a lap time. He has crashed on his out lap, unfortunately, and will be starting no higher than 11th. Nielsen's very wide through Degner 1. Jesus Christ, how have you kept that within track limits and not invalidated? Hopefully the settings are on correctly. They should be. I trust Jake. And Jacko trusts him enough to put him as lobby host. But Niels, at the moment, ahead of his Dutch compatriot. At the moment, Yuri will finish the lap, but it's invalidated, so it won't matter. Through Spoon comes Niels. Fully red, cherry red, Ferrari style maybe. A little bit boring, but... Come on, Niels, put some effort in. Yes, deliveries aren't that great of selection for us to edit and bring towards the multiplayer cars, but we've got to go with what we've got. To the final chicane. What's the name of the chicane again? I always forget. Casio Triangle, that's one. Up to the line, it's P4. He gets ahead of Newgarden just by a 10th. And we would have had Splinter as our final runner, but he unfortunately has retired and will start 12th. And we just have to wait for Yuri to get back round a lap. I think he's Yuri's pushing to see what he sort of could have done in the first couple of sectors, I think. But he should pit. If he sets a valid time, he probably will get disqualified from the entire race.
I was very confused. I was like, has he not just done a lap and realised this will be technically his in lap? So
yeah. Maybe he just don't care. He just wants to get rid of the tyres. Testing his pace maybe through the first two sectors. Did he go for a spin? No, just the camera angle changed at the wrong moment as the car rotated through Spoon. Up towards 130R. At least he's doing his in-lap quickly and not trundling around. As Niels is causing yellow flags in the hairpin. You're on your in-lap, buddy. You're going to be on these tyres. Don't spin. He spun again. Niels, what? We'll go on board with Niels. He's retired. Yuri dives into the pits. Doesn't slow down enough. That definitely sped into the pits. Don't be doing that in the race, because you will be getting a 5-second penalty. Just a warning in qualifying. So that is qualifying then. Cloud snatches pole position from Speed Quinn, who lines up on the front row with him. The only two drivers to get into the 128. Way's complaining about PS4 turning off, probably overheating. Gareth, fresh meat, joining Quinn up at the front on the first two rows. Niels carrying his form forward, starting on the second row in fourth. Newgarden, good qualifying session. He did say before the race that he wasn't going to qualify. He said he wanted to start near the back and avoid carnage, but instead he's going to be starting in fifth. Clark is sixth. Baba Riley, after being the first one out, holds seventh. Kaya, Kingan and Bazza are your top 10, and those are the only drivers who managed to set a valid lap time. Understeer too much. Yeah, that's the issue with these cars, this game. You need a lot of downforce now. You can't be, for example, Monza. You could run like 2 wings and be perfect. Now you have to be running like 4.6 or 5.7 or something like that, just to get that extra downforce through the Lesmos. I nearly said another word.
I did that. When did I do that? It was
you did
Monza,
that with,
wasn't it?
Was that one hub? Probably.
It
Sounds
was
about
one
right.
hub. It was one hub Monza.
Yeah.
Oops.
27 lap race, I think. So we're probably going to see maybe 6:15.6. That's not that is good maths. Oh hello. 6:15.6 could work. Maybe stretch the first softs. Safety cars could make people stretch the softs even longer. Maybe you could probably go 9 12 9. That's not right. That's 30 laps. 9 formation lap. The track looks a little bit darker, probably cooler. I think Sully might have disappeared for a second. So
I'm back. I'm alive.
He is back. He is alive. I heard something in the background. I was like, Sully is not going to be here.
Yeah. What happens when you don't lock the door?
Right, we need a livery of the week, Mr. Sully.
We do, and I'm going through them. I
have a spinner
already.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard. It's a hard choice. Newgarden and Clark look like they have very similar liveries at first glance, but I am going to give it to VSR Clark as my
VSR Clark gets yours. I think Jake. I like Jake's. I was going to go Bazza because it's Braun, but then again he's been Braun for the past however many seasons. Clark. That is a nice livery as well. Yeah, it did pop out on the screen as one of the contenders for me as well when we went through his lap. This game's very loud. I hope it's not that loud for you guys. I might just do a little bit of tweaking.
Well, Pete does his tweaking. The order then, tyre-wise. Let me actually get the tyres up. You know, it will be a good.
I didn't even have tyres up. Thank you for doing that.
The only two drivers not on softs, Evil Dragon and Bill. So 2 medium runners looking to go longer on the first stint. Everybody else, obviously the top 10 had to, starting on the faster soft tyre. So it's going to be an interesting one. Let's hopefully get some good racing as we.
No one
drivers bunch up.
Yeah, no one opting for the hard tyres. Very sensible indeed. Hard tyres are just not a race tyre or any track as far as I'm aware. The hard tyres are suitable for any track. For the player. Maybe for the... Oh, someone spun. Who spun? Evil Dragon spun. We've had a interesting formation lap to start this season. I'm not too sure whether Wade's got back in his car. Where is Wade?
I think he did, isn't he? Yeah.
Oh, he's 17th. Right. Are we all on the grid?
Just waiting for Evil Dragon, I believe.
No, Niels was quite far behind after his spin as well. So here we go then. Niels is now lined up. I've got no 5 lights, or do I? Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing! Cloud gets a good start, but I think Quinn has got the better of him down towards turn 1. He's going to have the inside as the driver goes wide at the back towards the pit lane. Side by side between the two. No contact space made between both of them. Niels has made a position as well. Cloud down to second. Niels might be challenging on Cloud going to the S's, but it's Quinn from Mozza. Niels, Gareth down to 4th. Newgarden holding position. VSR Clark as there's a spinner back, and that's Bob O'Reilly dropping down the field. Clean start so far, no safety car from what it looks like.
No, it was a good start. The majority of the grid. I went on board with Speed Y Racer or Yuri, one of our own drivers, because he's known for getting good starts. And lo and behold, he's up into 10th already. So good start from him. Not a good start though from Kia and Barbara O'Reilly, which is unfortunate for them, but it's still a long race.
Oh, Newgarden's making a move on Gareth for P4. Newgarden's going to have to go the long way around on the exits. They're going to leave each other space, but he will have the inside for Spoon. But the overspeed from Gareth keeps him ahead. Will he go for the inside wall, Newgarden? He does not. Newgarden holds back into 5th, but he's got to watch out for VSR Clark behind him and a known champion of Kingen who's in 7th. Good start from Yuri. Actually, I was surprised to see him not get involved in an incident, because it's usually someone else has a crash and then Yuri becomes a victim. But clean for lap 1, and Quinn with the perfect start to the season and this Grand Prix as he leads to end lap 1. As do we have an early pitter? No, Newgarden's made a mistake and is going to lose a position to Kingen, who might get 2 in 1. Kingen might get Gareth up the inside in towards turn 1. There's absolute carnage at turn 1. There's been contact. Let's see if the drivers can keep it on the track and avoid further collisions. Kingen, I can see, has lost positions. Newgarden's down to 16th. Not too sure if we have any damage for anyone.
Both drivers, Newgarden on the right hand side curb, on the inside curb, Kingen on the far left hand side curb, spun simultaneously, so neither driver made contact, but from what I could see, both just went round. So
both just driver error from both, just to simulate maybe the curbs, maybe just carrying too much speed through turn 1, as we're getting a little bit of a glitch for the timers. Quinn is still leading from Mozza. We've got Niels still 3rd. Gareth VSR Clark kept himself up there, I think. Kept his nose clean as he runs wide through Spoon. Yuri now up to 7th, 6th place as the order sorts itself back out. Who's got Evil Dragon on his tail. Weighs up to 8th. Both boys that started 17th and 18th up to 6th and 8th as we got another spinner. Oh, there's contact further down the field and there's a driver out. Babaroli is out and Clark is out. Both drivers have DNF'd as Kaya tries to get himself, as there's penalties for corner cutting. Safety car has been deployed and there's a couple of drivers in the pits. Niels did get himself in the pits and so did Waze, but did they get himself comfortably into a position where it was not unsafe to jump back out from going into the pits? This will be key, and they will be asked for footage.
As the safety car was called as well, noticed Evil Dragon picked up 11 seconds worth of penalties, and as they were going across the start-finish line, Basler was sideways into Evil Dragon, so Evil Dragon now has some wing damage. Basler picked up another penalty. Evil Dragon gets another penalty for colliding with the back of Jake. Wait,
I'm on board with Evil Dragon. At the moment that notification popped up, I didn't see any contact. I don't think there was any contact.
This game, the contact system is slightly
but there is a rule now. Excuse me. There is a rule now that if you do serve it, you won't get it removed if there's a late safety car.
Nobody wants to relive my Austria victory, which came from getting a 5-second penalty removed.
That had been served. No, the 5 second had been served, but you had the 5 second had been served, but that was back then when if you got given a 5 second penalty for something that you didn't even, for a collision that you were just a passenger for, then you can get it removed.
That's how long ago my last and first official win was. So.
Do you know what the it's not did I win after that? I can't remember. No, that was season 2. Yeah, you've won a race more recently than I have in JACKOCAR, and It makes me sad.
That is true. That is kind of true.
But I will blame the transition from pad to wheel as who's going to benefit out of this the most? I would say, I don't know, Kaya's on hards. Surely the 2 mediums could have gone both up to the end. Did Splinter pit? Splinter got caught up in that as well. He started on mediums, so went for another set of mediums, and will probably finish on softs because I understand that Japan can be an easy one stop from soft medium if you can nurse the tyres. Safety cars really do help, so you can probably go to these mediums till about lap 18 and then put the softs on till the end. And that will be the same strategy for Waze, Niels, and I'm not sure what Indecisive strategy is going to be now. Being on the softs, probably just go aggressive and then maybe finish on the mediums, and Kaya can go probably the whole day distance if he wants to.
Yeah, I do wonder, because at what point the safety car actually came out, and if it was different for us and the drivers, because I knew the Quinn, Monza and Gareth had all passed it, but I didn't realise Niels was like in such a perfect position, unless they all 3 or 4 drivers that pit were coming in anyway, which fair enough to them if they've called that right. So it will be interesting to see on replay and looking back on footage where they were in comparison, but hopefully all of them have stuck to the rules. Yeah, for the for those pit stops to count, you have to be committed to the pit lane before spawning out already.
What? You've crashed under the safety car, fella. You've done a George Russell.
Oh, Neil.
Oh, Neil. Yeah. Oh, Niels. Yeah. 3 retirees in 4 laps, ladies and gentlemen. And the best is yet to come, because this is only round 1. Only round 1. How many rounds we got? I think it's like 13. Maybe 15. Many rounds.
Many rounds of absolute chaos. Just how Jacko likes it.
Yeah. Yeah, simulation damage. The fact that the damage model is so much more sensitive, and there's the new damage model on the side pods and rear wing. A safety car is going to come in at the end of this lap. Another rule implemented into JACKOCAR for this season as well is you cannot follow the safety car in. You have to do 1 green lap before you can pit. So everyone will go round, and if Quinn gets this right, he can only go, and the driver's ban can only go at the start finish line. They have to remember that as well. At the start finish line. We'll keep an eye on this, see if it's a good restart. We'll keep an eye on the throttle. That's perfect from Quinn. Does Cloud get the jump on him? He's going to get the slipstream. He's using overtake. Does he have the lower downforce to make the move into turn 1? No, he holds back, as it looks like Jake and... oh, there might be a bit of a lag, but Jake is making progress and might get Evil Dragon as well. And the outside through turn 3, 4 and maybe even 5, as Magic Poop Cannon's going to get Evil Dragon as well. He does, and he's up to 7th. Evil Dragon's got medium tyres on and wing damage, so he probably didn't have enough to pit, and is now going to start causing a little bit of a train for the drivers behind, especially all of them have pitted for fresh tyres. Yellow flag, that is for Kingen. Yes, Kingen has spun. Newgarden was in the pits. What happened there, Sully?
He did. I was riding on board. What was it? I was in broadcast cam, sorry, with some of the drivers at the back, and I'd switched to an angle where I couldn't see. I came back and Bill was upside down. I now have a clip. I will upload the clip to Twitter, and I'll link it to the JACKOCAR 2 account so everyone watching can see it and all the drivers see it. Bill was upside down on the start-finish straight, and there was no front wing for Newgarden. I don't know if they've had an same incident. I know Newgarden got a penalty for contact at some point, but if that's an incident with the safety car is still going, that's... to be upside down is a pretty big incident, as Kia's just got some damage off the back.
Evil Dragon's retired. Evil Dragon's retired. I'm not sure what happened there. I feel like he just spawned into the middle of the track on my screen.
Yeah,
or did he hit the pit wall? I am really confused as we got another safety car. So this is crucial now because Cloud, Magic Poop Cannon, Waze came in again for a change of front wing. He is now going to be on old softs. Ugh. Kai is in as well for fresh mediums. Could he go to the end? Maybe he could for a push. Get him to the end. New Garden will get to catch back up. I assume his pit stop was legitimate. You did mention that he did have no front wing, but we need to see what happened because that was interesting, to say the least, from what you're describing. But this is crucial. This is crucial now. Part of the race, crucial part of the race, as there's drivers that haven't pit and there's drivers that have.
Yeah, I do feel like you can't follow the safety car in. However, with the incident that happened, if it was, because it could have, if it was the game's fault, because there is some glitches around the safety car, then it's a fair pit stop. Like New Garden hasn't done anything wrong. But if it's from a separate incident where he's ran into the back of a driver and pit, then unfortunately that will be deemed as a illegal pit stop because he has, in theory, followed the safety car into the pits. But from now, all the drivers got to keep their heads down. It's going to be an interesting one with some drivers that have made 2 stops already, being Kia on the mediums. Waze, but he's got a puncture on his front right as Waze.
What? It now has a puncture. I saw in chat. In chat, he said he had a his AI. He had a puncture, and he said his AI pit. But he's put punctured tyres back on, or
that still is.
New Garden's got through. New Garden's got through on Waze. Waze would be too slow anyway with that puncture. He would probably be allowed to pass, but we'll need to see that as well. He can pit. Punctures are dangerous enough for you to have to pit because technically you've only got 3 tyres fully functioning, and you're extremely slow and a danger to everyone else on track. But yeah, this safety car now helps Cloud, Magic Poop Cannon, Kingjun, even after his spin on his own, he's now back into it. But I believe he's still yet to pit. He is, but he's down in 10th. Kai is back in, and New Garden is back in to the frame for the race. But yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt Quinn, Gareth, Yuri, and Bazza and Jake. The fact that all the drivers behind him have already made 1 pit stop, at least.
Yeah, it sets up interesting. I was going to say end to the race, so yeah, we're only on lap 6, so an interesting rest of the race.
Rest of the race, yeah.
This is still anyone's victory.
It is. I couldn't call it because now what you got to see as well. The top 5 are all on old softs. We've got Splinter behind that, who made 1 pit stop, but is on older tyres than everyone behind him who has made a pit stop. So he's going to be slow. Well, he's not going to be slow, but he's going to be a little bit slower on tyre performance compared to everyone else behind him, except for Kingan, who is one of the drivers who hasn't stopped.
Indeed. Right, let's try and have a normal race from here on out, please.
Normal restart.
Just a bit of normality would be, although it's JACKOCAR, this Kia series, there's never normality. But the top 3, all pretty, top 4 in fact, all pretty clean. 5 even Jake, I forget Jake's not pit. So this is going to be interesting. Splinter currently, technically net P1.
No, I'd give it Kai's net P1, he's made 2 stops. Technically.
However, I don't think those mediums will make it to the end, not around the track. That
maybe
is
not. Maybe not. Maybe if there's another safety car, they could. But Andy, or Magic Poop Cannon in the chat saying that he wish he could leak some fuel out of the car. Yeah, it's very now. There's no rich mixture, no engine modes for the cars and regulations. There's only EOS that you really manage throughout the Grand Prix, whether you use it or not. You can't really. You can only put a car in lean if you're under safety car. But the thing is, you can't guarantee a safety car. So And if and in the race you barely burn any, and you burn a little bit of fuel, but not enough for you to want to put a load of fuel in that you will need to run to the end of the race. You just save so much fuel in the safety car as well, and these cars are going to be a lot heavier than they would want it to be in the final laps.
They will indeed, apart from maybe Waze, who is having to push quite hard to catch up. So
maybe, yeah, but that's burning through his tyres as well. If the safety car comes in at the end of this lap, this could be perfect for Waze because he'll have the warmest tyres of everyone, and I'm sure he might be able to pick up a few positions, but he's got to catch up for them first.
Indeed, he has. I think he's back in his car.
I can't tell.
I really can't tell, yeah.
Oh, no, he is. No, he is back in the car. On stream, you can look at the throttle modulation and braking. On an AI, it's quite stuttered. With Waze, it's quite smooth. So he's caught up to the field. But are we going for another lap?
No, the safety car is in.
Safety car's in. Does Quinn get it right for 2 times? He does this time and punches it. Gareth, what's happened to Cloud? Cloud, unless that's a glitch. Bazza up to second. Quinn runs wide through turn 1 on those cold tyres. Bazza's in second. Yuri up to third. Gareth's lost positions on the restart. Cloud, the biggest loser of everyone. Oh no, he's not. Cloud is not the biggest loser of everyone because he'd already pit. But yeah, biggest loser of the restart is Gareth. He's lost a position. Bazza, biggest gainer, up to second place.
Yuri's going to go for it around the outside though. If he gets this, he's going to have the inside into turn 8, gets it down the inside nicely into second for Yuri. So it's a speed 1-2 as it stands. Bazza now going to be under pressure from Gareth as they go through this fast right-hander of turn 10. Backs out of it sensibly, but is now going to be under pressure from Jake behind. And meanwhile, Splinter just sat waiting a little bit patiently behind as we have a yellow flag of Kingdon, I believe.
He's not having the best of days. To be fair, he did have a little bit of a rusty start when I saw him in one hub, and then just pulled it out of the bag. Got used to the game, got used to the tracks, driving, how to drive the cars. Gareth might go for a move on Bazza. He's going to have the inside into 130. Oh, backs out of it quite late. He's going to have the overspeed towards the Castillo triangle. Does he go for a late lunge up the inside? He does not. DRS will not be enabled until 3 completed green laps, or it will be on the 3rd green lap, as Quinn and Y-Racer and Bazza, I believe. No, Bazza decides to stay out, but Jake sensibly pits just to make sure that if there was another safety car. Yellow flag in sector 2. Is that Kingdon again?
Yep.
Yeah. If that causes a safety car, then Quinn, Yuri and Jake are back in the game. But at the moment, as it stands, these guys are going to have to put pedal to the metal to catch back up to everyone, to get himself back into a race winning position, because at the moment Splinter is your lead.
Quinn is backwards at turn 1. He's come out the pits on fresh tyres, and the cold tyres just must have they're just obviously not heated up, so round he goes sideways, and that's allowed Jake past him as well. So not too much time lost. I don't think he'll get any damage, but he's actually quite a bit further back than probably about 20 seconds lost net. So
he's definitely lost a lot of time. Yeah, because Jake had a 5-second penalty served as well, so a lot of time lost, and he was ahead of Yuri. So yeah, 10 seconds at least lost with that spin. Waze and Indecisive. I think Indecisive lets Waze through. Waze now up to 7th. Technically, he is your net race leader. We've got to see whether one of his pit stops is legitimate. But even if it was to make one more stop, that would counteract his illegitimate pit stop for making that extra 2 stops. So Waze is your net race leader and could potentially go to the end. Bazza and Gareth now sensibly coming to the pits. DRS is enabled. And Splinter, from starting from 11th, is now in the lead with Cloud. He's one of his buddies. I know these boys love it on track and off track. But will they get a bit more aggressive? with both of them looking to be championship favourites. I would put their paces towards the top.
Yeah, I'd say you're right there. Now, the interesting thing will be to see if Magic Poop Cannon or Mos Eisley can catch up to the medium runs on his softs, as we have a yellow flag in
Bazza's gone for a spin at turn 1 as well. People are finding turn 1 tricky, and it seems where else are people spinning a little bit? In the S's maybe. Degner. I saw Bazza lose it in quality in Degner. But yeah, I don't think he's got any damage. He might have minute damage, but when you get the smallest amount of wing damage, the downforce is just not there anymore, and you have to pit realistically. And if a safety car comes out, oh, nice catch from Bazza, keeps it out of the wall. There'll be a Tokyo drift through Degner 1. But yeah, Bazza down to 12th. But new rule as well, you have to finish the race to score points. So Evil Dragon, Bill, Niels, Clark and Baba Riley are all going to be on 0 points.
That's a good rule. I like that rule a lot. Now, yeah, I have noticed as well, Splinter is on 9 lap old mediums, Mozza is on 5 lap old mediums, so this could get closer, and I wonder if, as you say, they are friends, they might organise a bit of a swap just to, you know, keep it safe. But Yuri setting the fastest lap, moving up the positions, so he could still be one to watch. But as it stands, Waze is in the prime position really to if he can make his tyres last to the end. I mean, it's going to be a risk, but he doesn't have to stop again technically.
Nope, he has completed all mandatory pit stops as far as we're aware. They're all legal. Yellow flag, sector 1. Someone spun at the exit of the S's towards Degner 1. I believe it's Kaya. Kaya. I was going to mention something. I didn't mention stage point for the first stage point. First stage point was the end of lap 7. I believe that was Quinn, because Quinn did stay out for quite some time. He's only been on these tyres for 1 lap, so he would have taken. He was in the lead from turn 1, and he would have got the first playoff point of Tier Series Season 2. As we got another yellow flag in the hairpin, that was, and there's another one in the final sector. Nugon is retired from the Grand Prix. He's lost it through 130R, and there is another safety car. Magic Poop Cannon's in the pits. Whether that's legal or not, it might be, because he's already been serviced and he's heading down the pit lane. That could be legal. This is going to bring Quinn back into it after his spin. Bazza might be able to recover. Does he have any damage? We're not too sure. He's dropped off the pace massively. Indecisive is on hard tyres. We'll probably go to the end if he's made all of his pit stops. He has. He can go to the end. Kai can go to the end, and this just helps Waze even more. This does. It closes that 8-second gap that they had between Splinter and Cloud, and is a whole pit stop ahead of both of them, and everyone behind him except for Magic Poop Cannon, who could be right on his tail depending on if he can get through Gareth and Yuri. Yeah, stage points. I was going to mention that Splinter and Cloud were going to battle for the final stage point, because it was coming at the end of this lap, but it is going to get given to Splinter. So I believe both stage points will have been given on the safety car. And in NASCAR, they tend to bring out a safety car at the end of the stage anyway to bunch the field up. So it's basically what's happening in real life in NASCAR anyway. We just can't call safety cars. They just magically appear.
I wish. Can you imagine if we had a race director every race? I would love to do that.
No, you get to trigger friendly and just bring out. If we had physical race director and Michael, yeah, you'd be worse than Michael Massey. Red flag for nothing.
Red flag.
Someone spun. Oh, red flag. You see Yuri or Matt Newgarden spin or Quinn spin, and you're like, quick, red flag, help him. No. We won't have much bias, but we'll have a lot when they win. If they win, not when they win. No one can predict. No one can predict JACKOCAR. You could even be the quickest. on track every race up until the final race. It all goes down to the final championship race, realistically. And if you mess that one up, you wasted your... Well, I won't say you wasted your time. You've bottled it, realistically. You've Arnowed it. You've Arnowed it.
You have Arnowed it.
You've Arnowed it.
Waze is back in the lobby. Should hopefully get back in his car. I think he did disconnect for a short period.
Again.
Yes.
There we go. I think he's back in his car because...
into the back of Cloud.
Is he? Oh.
Yep. There you go. There's the penalty for Cloud. Not a penalty for Waze, but Waze has big wing damage. Cloud will not be happy with that one.
For Waze to pit, that has to be full red. I don't think it will be full red because the whole half of the wing has not really been knocked off. Could be full red, but we'll see if he pits. If that does, he'll have to go on to probably mediums to go to the end. I don't think softs will go to the end, but he might only have worn mediums. Interesting that Waze and Yuri were joint in the best position from the start of the race, up 14, but Splinter up 11. And showing why he looks to be championship favourite at this stage, not discounting anyone else. But he was the best finisher of the drivers that remained in Kia Series from last season. Best match, best results, and he was very consistent in Cup as well.
Yeah, just on board with King Jun, really not having a good day at the minute. He's half a lap, if not more, behind, and he went for a spin in turn 1 after even when the safety car called out. So just wondering if he's maybe learning no traction, maybe giving it a go, because he looks a little bit unstable, but maybe just be a one-off race for him. This race could still go either way. Cloud with that unfortunate penalty. Nobody else has penalties in terms of corner cutting, and fresh tyres or fresher tyres for Yuri, Gareth and Magic Poop Cannon, who made his second stop under that safety car, which we do believe is legal, so fingers crossed for his sake, but he will be required to provide footage just to make sure, as it wasn't caught on stream. But this restart might be a little bit tasty.
Yeah, there's a lot of different wear on each of these drivers' tyres. Unfortunately, no tasks in Kia, so we can't give you exactly the ins and outs. But tune in on Thursday, and you can get some of the best commentary and information from Owen and Jacko. But we'll give you what we got. We'll go with what we got. And sometimes we get the tyre graphic on stream anyway. Because sometimes when I get rid of this, I get a graphic pop up of people's tyre wear. We saw the strategy pop up at the end of the formation lap, but we haven't seen people's tyre degs. It gives an indication of how worn they are. We can see how many laps they've done on them, but technically they're not all green laps.
Yeah, that is true. So fresh. The people on tyres that are 3-4 laps old will be almost as good as Poop Cannon on his 1 lap old tyres. So it's going to be the top 3 that will probably struggle most. So let's see how that one goes, as the safety car should be in this lap.
Yeah, Kingdom has managed to get himself back to the back of the pack. He's on 4 lap old softs. Yeah, safety car in this lap. We'll stay on board with Splinter. Hopefully he can get a restart right. Quinn did it perfectly both times and caught everyone out. Splinter's got to do the same. Cloud doesn't have damage from as far as I'm aware. He did only get hit in the rear. Waze didn't have a sufficient enough damage to pit, so he's going to have to do this lap with damage, so that's not going to help Yuri or Graham behind. Splinter shouldn't go just yet, but he goes now because Cloud reacted enough, as Yuri has absolutely blown the competition away. Waze does pit, maybe not legal enough, but Yuri ahead of Waze and ahead of Gareth up to 3rd. Technically Magic Poop Hammer's net P1, but Yuri's in a good position to maybe even get a podium because everyone else behind him that's in a position that needs to make another pit stop are going to be on older tyres.
Yeah, the confidence as well that Yuri has on those fresher tyres. He knows that if he can get ahead of these two, he's got the pace. I think he's gonna try for something. As we have a yellow. Is that Waze?
Waze. That is Waze. Waze on fresh mediums.
In the S section, but
finish the race, Waze, and you'll get yourself some points, and you'll be only 2 points away from being in the playoffs. So even though there's 11 laps and you might be 11 laps on your own, it's worth finishing. It really is, because those it's 2015, 14, 13, 12. Those 6 points could mean a lot. To be fair, could be the difference between being inside the playoffs and outside. We've seen it being separated by a point to get inside the playoffs, so finishing the race is always worth it. Does anyone pit?
Nice run. Doesn't look like it at the minute. Yuri has a nice run on Cloud towards turn 1. Cloud just turned his overtake on to bridge that gap, so no move into turn 1 yet. Cloud takes a wide line. Yuri can afford to take that tighter line with the fresher tyres. No move there, but Quinn is now ahead of Jake into turn 1 as well, so that would have been a nice pass for him.
Yeah, I almost caught the end of that. But I'm just staying on board with Yuri. See if he gets a bit closer. He keeps a tight line through the first left-hand at the exit of the S's, and he's keeping with Cloud. Cloud's starting to fall away. Can he hold on to that 1 second window that will be beneficial down the pit straight only? That's the only place for DRS on this track.
Yeah, indeed. The only man on track that can really afford to take it steady right now is Magic Poop Cannon and Moss Isley in P5. So he just needs to sort of sit back, not push the tyres too much, don't make many mistakes if any, and just let the car do the talking on the track, because he's going to have Speed Queen come up to him on similar tyres. Speed Queen's going to be pushing. He can let him go if he needs to, if he doesn't want to fight, but he's sticking with the pack nicely now as we go around the final corner. It's close at the top again, but I'm not sure if Yuri's close enough this time around.
Spencer, fastest man, taking away his previous fastest lap and going even faster on 15 lap old tyres as well. But then again, I think half of those are under safety car. Jake pits for the final time, is going to go on mediums to the end. I think he could have gone on softs. If he had a fresh set of softs, then maybe he could have gone on softs. Maybe he could have gone one more lap. As a yellow flag comes out at maybe the perfect time, it's Yuri. It's Yuri. I was looking at the site at the timings, and I saw Speedway Race that had dropped down the field. Not sure whether he has damage. Probably caught it on the curb, trying to be as aggressive as possible. And he's lost a lot of time and quite a few positions. Now back behind Speed Quinn. JACKOCAR surprised. Yeah, get him promoted, Jacko. Nah, I'm joking. No, don't get him promoted.
The nature of this track, though, if you ride the curbs that a little bit too much and take the tighter lines, you always run that risk of over the curbs and spinning a bit more, as Waze does retire in the first sector. So
safety car
deployed. Well, Magic Poop Cannon's really in the driving seat.
He is now. He really is. That is that safety car number 4? I think that's is that number 4? That's 4 safety cars. I believe there's 5 in total that you can have, so there could only be one more. But we're running out of laps, and it looks like half of this race might be under safety car.
Indecisive, by the way. P9 on hard tyres and has done 2 stops. He can go to the end of this race, so he's looking for a podium.
He's looking on course for a podium.
Kaya has 2 stops but on 11 lap old tyres, so Jake is probably going to be on the back of him, so the podium could still be any of these drivers really. If we get another safety car towards the latter sort of laps of the race, again, could be anyone's, but our split Poop Cannon is currently my favourite to win. Indecisive will be looking for that podium. I think it would be a good way to start his season. I didn't have the best of seasons last season, I don't think, but I think he'll quite appreciate a podium.
Oh, his car's retired. I've done that in the S's.
Oh yeah, he's on that left hand side, so he's just clipped the clipped the curb and the back end's gone round with him. So we're down to 10 finishers. If this was a normal point system, every finisher would get points. Every finisher will get points, but
anyway.
This is JACKOCAR.
I was just about to mention. Sorry to interrupt. I was just about to mention that Kaya was in net P3, and now Jake's now in net P3. So Jake could be on to snatch this, but he's got a little bit of traffic just ahead. Just pulled over, didn't crash. Fair enough, Waze. But the thing is, Waze, you could have finished. If you finished, who knows where you could have gone? You've cost yourself about 6 or 7 points, mate. Finish every race. As you can see here, safety car brings it back into it. Well, you caused the safety car, but anyone else could have scored. Car could have scored the safety car, but you never know. So unpredictable.
Yeah, this track. Fair play to whoever picked this race for the opening race, because it has been an insane race. It's been brilliant to watch. I would not like to be racing in it right now, unless you're Splinter on.
Oh, I'd have been angry. If I'd have been any of the drivers that have been involved in any incidents, I'd have been angry by now.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think every driver, bar a couple, has had some form of incident. I think Splinter might be the only driver to not have some form of incident.
No, he has. He did have an incident. He had an incident. He pitted under the first safety car, I think. I'm pretty sure he was one of the he's been on those tyres for so long. Yeah, he's been on those tyres for 17 laps. So he pit at the end of the first safety car. Maybe he wasn't involved in any incident. Maybe he just pit. But it shows that if you keep out of incidents, which what Splinter and Cloud have done, you get near the top.
That's how JACKOCAR works. You could start last and still win a race. It's not impossible. It's more likely. You're more likely almost to get better points starting near the back than you are in the front. Like starting in the mid pack near the front. So
yeah,
just got to keep it clean and consistent, and that's how this works. But again, Poop Cannon in the driver's seat for the next 7 laps. Just got to keep it careful, because the gap he's got to Indecisive and Jake is large, and everybody else has to make a pit stop.
I don't even think it's worth fighting, to be honest. If he's getting attacked on that first lap by any of the drivers, just let him go. I would just let him go. No point fighting him, because you're going to have a pit stop ahead of all of them. However, we need to know if it's legitimate or not. If it's not legit, you could pit. Oh, I have to make 2. You have to make 2 to counteract an illegal pit stop, so that'd slap him near the back anyway. So it's just worth the risk just to hold it. I think it was legitimate based on where I caught him in the pit box. He was being served and being released, and the safety car hadn't been out that long, so it seems legit to me. But yeah, I wouldn't battle because all these drivers have to do one more lap and pit again, except for Indecisive and Jake, who Magic Poop Cannon has got like 3 or 4 cars between them.
Exactly, and there will be a lot of stewards inquiries over the next few days. I imagine drivers trying to report each other, but here we go for the restart. He's done one off before. Let's see how perfect. Half
throttle, revving out 3rd gear, up to the line, full throttle, perfect. But Cloud might get the better run. Down towards turn 1, Cloud might have the inside. Splinter's got the straight line speed though, as Cloud gets out of the slipstream. Splinter one's wide on those cold and worn mediums. Mozza has 4-lap fresher tyres. Any moves further down? Baz is looking feisty on the back of Gareth. Let's hope these drivers keep it clean. Yuri's got past Magic Poop Cannon. Oh, that's a nice move. Hello, Kingan. Round the outside he went of Magic Poop Cannon, but sensibly he's losing positions. Don't start losing positions from the guys that are behind you, because they're now fighting you for this race victory. All the drivers ahead of you have to pit. Go to the end, basically. But keep within DRS. Pretty much every driver should pit. Every driver that needs to pit should pit at the end of this lap. And we'll see. We're going to see a cluster of drivers into the pits. Hopefully no one stacks. It's a little bit late braking for Indecisive. Loses position to Jake. Jake now up into net P2. Kingan surviving on those 10-lap-old softs. we're going to expect to see a lot of pitters, but at the moment Splinter's in the box seat to at least get P4. At least get P4. Cloud's going to have to serve that 5-second penalty. Sorry for interrupting this game.
This is the first time we've commentated together on this game, so we're going to be rusty, bound to be rusty, but you know, we'll only improve over the season, as we're going to see 3 drivers into the pits, 4 drivers into the pits. Make that.
Splinter to the pits. Splinter has bottled it a little bit because Cloud is going to serve his 5-second. Splinter won't serve it, and he probably won't get it removed because he did it himself, unless he got hit into the pits by Cloud. Doesn't look like it because Cloud doesn't have a wing change for damage, and with the damage model on simulation, you'd expect the smallest of taps on the rear end would put him with wing damage.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting now for where the drivers ahead at the top 3 are going to come out, as Buchanan is right behind Kingdon at the minute. So Kingdon on those softs really struggling. Buchanan's starting to come to life a little bit because he knows Jake is behind him on those fresh tyres. So Jake one to watch at the minute with the 3-lap old medium's got a 5-lap tyre advantage. Indecisive on the hards, just going to try and keep that 14-second gap open as far as possible, you know, get that P3 secure.
Oh, yellow flag. Spoon. Who is it? It's indecisive. No, it's Kingdon. Kingdon again. It's got another spin. I'd box now. But just maybe go for fastest lap. That's going to be interesting for these drivers that we're all going to be pitting on these fresh softs. It's going to be he who dares wins on that lap. How much EOS are you going to get? Because you do get a playoff point for fastest lap, and that's going to be key. As Gareth now pits, DRS enabled. Bazza doesn't pit unless he's Joker. There is a Joker, I think. I didn't get told the Joker. I should have been told the Joker. He could be the Joker because he has only made 1 stop, and this could be crucial. But he does have a time penalty, and it's 3 seconds. And Magic Poop Panning is within that 3 seconds. He's got 2-lap fresher tyres. Jake's got 5-lap fresher than that, as everyone now is on fresh softs. King and Han mediums. Sure, maybe he ran out of softs, but I'm not too sure mediums was the best call.
This is going to be interesting.
It is. It's going to be interesting as well for Splinter where he's going to finish, because of that 5-second time penalty. He's looking down to drop at least back towards behind Yuri and Danny Quinn. Sounds like a rugby player.
He does indeed. I've just got confirmation from the JACKOCAR 2 account. Splinter was our Joker.
Splinter Joker.
So
interesting.
He had to make that second stop though, didn't he? Because
of the tyres.
Yeah.
Maybe he just didn't want to risk it then on the Joker because of safety car. No, safety cars helped the Joker realistically. Take out a pit stop and you'd have been net race leader. If you'd have left your first pit stop a little bit longer, maybe to what Quinn did, then you could have been in a... You're basically in the same position doing the same spot as where Quinn was if you stayed out and done that 1 stop. As Bazza now finally pits. So Magic Poop Cannon is your race leader, ladies and gentlemen, from Jake, and Indecisive is your podium at the moment. A Splinter sets the fastest lap of this race. How quickly is he going to catch Indecisive for that final spot on the podium? The gap 6 seconds, yellow flag sector 1. That's Indecisive, I believe. Is that enough? Is there going to be a dangerous re-entry? Splinter gets back up to a podium position now, and he's got to start pulling away a gap to the boys behind because of that 5-second penalty. Speed Boy's going to have to get a move on. Got Gareth up ahead, and then you're going to have the hard tyre runner of Indecisive. He's going to go slowly up the hill down towards Degner 1. Does he go for an inside move? Does Gareth? No. Both very vibrant, colourful cars. Spinner in sector 1. That's Kingdon again. Oh no, he's not had a day. He's not had a very good day as Kingdon. Not had a very good day as Isaac. Not a good day for... I can't remember the nationality of him. Is it Finnish? Might be Finnish. Of the Finn. Flying Finn. Around the outside for Gareth. Into Spoon. Thinks better of it. Probably get the better exit and use the slipstream, and overtake to run down towards 130R. He was looking at a move earlier on down towards 130R. Why am I getting comments flash up that were sent ages ago? Kingdom has retired, so we only leaves 9 runners. No safety car then. There shouldn't be.
It's around the outside. Oh, Gareth for a move around the final corner, around the outside, then hugs the inside wall and has got that move done. As now we see Indecisive pull over to the right side to let Quinn go by, as well as Yuri. So Yuri on the back of Quinn as well. I did notice Yuri had a little bit of a half spin, but he's caught to this battle nicely. So this battle for 4th is going to be just as close as the battle for the lead, because Jake is right behind Mos Eisley now. So this is going to be an interesting final 3 laps indeed.
It's been a little bit of a long race, but the action is going to come because there's not going to be a safety car to ruin it. There will not be a safety car. There will be no, I don't think, even if there was an accident now, a safety car will be brought out. We're going to get 3 flying laps. Well, 2.5 because they're nearly at the end of this one. But 3 flying laps to decide the winner of this race. It's going to be between Magic Poop Cannon and Jake. Splinter, I don't think he's going to drag himself into it, but he might be able to secure the podium. The guys behind are going to have to keep a move on, because at the moment only Gareth is going to stay ahead of Splinter and snatch the podium, as Cloud now gets by Indecisive. Indecisive might want to pit, seeing as he's not going to lose any positions. Pit for softs and push for fastest lap. Fastest lap at the moment is going to go to Splinter with a 29.7, clear ahead of everyone else at the moment on fastest lap.
Here we go then, into turn 1, to the left-hand side, goes Jake round the outside of Mos Eisley, gets the move done, but he's going to run a little bit deep. Can Mos Eisley fight back? Not quite, so Jake into the lead of the race then, and would look to now pull away, so Poop Cannon's just got to try and stick in second place and keep that podium, because he just hasn't quite got the tyre life of those 12-lap-old mediums, but he's got a big enough gap behind that second place should be, hopefully, his. So now we can look back to the battle for P4 with Quinn and Yuri just behind. So this is the closest battle on track, and maybe even to steal a podium if they stay within that 5 seconds.
At the moment, yeah, Quinn's not in that 5 seconds. Gareth is, but there's plenty of time for that 3/10, as it's going by every corner. As Yuri runs a little bit wide out of Degner 1, runs wide again. Don't want to be getting a penalty, Yuri. Otherwise you might lose, well, you won't lose a position to Basil because he's got a penalty, but you could cost yourself an opportunity for a top 5 here for round 1.
Speaking of Basil, run a bit deep into that corner, let Cloud down his inside, but then Cloud had a bit of a rear slide, so these two will be fighting for that P7. So that's going to be an interesting one to watch, as the 4th, 5th and 6th drivers all now go on the run up towards 130. I don't think we'll see a move at the minute. All pretty low on ERS. Yuri just saving his a little bit. Quinn trying to get closer. Cloud on the back of Basil as well. He's much closer this time around. Around the final corners we go. Just needs to get a good run, does Quinn, and then he's going to be all over the back of Gareth. Both using the rear RS. DRS is going to be open as we go down towards someone. Gareth moves to the right hand side. We are going to see a move because of the overspeed. Oh, that's Magic Poop Cannon is out, so we're not, because of the yellow flag in sector 1. He has crashed at the S section on the left hand side of the curb. So he's hit the curb and gone into the wall, which now promotes every single driver. So now this is not only a potential, well, a definite podium for one of our drivers in the top 5, but a potential P2 if they get within Splinter on this lap.
I don't think they will. I think Splinter's just got the better pace on these soft tyres. Clear air. I think if Quinn and Yuri were both ahead of Gareth, maybe they could have kept within that 5 seconds, but it looks like Splinter will hang on for a P2. It is going to be last to the line though between these 3. I think Quinn might want to put Bossman in his place by keeping him behind, or will Yuri go for a late dive? I think he might go for it into the Casio triangle. I don't think Quinn's going to be close enough to Gareth. What's the ERS like? Oh, Quinn's got the least. Yuri's got the most. As they run down towards 130R.
Around the final corner, Jake will win in Japan. Splinter will come home second, but we will, as Pete says, go back for 4th and 5th. Do we get anything as Splinter? Oh yeah, that penalty has just popped up. battling for the last few laps. Will stay in positions. Bazza ahead of Cloud, but I think on penalties we'll get jumped. And Indecisive comes home P8. Kind of stole your thunder at the last couple of laps, but you had it at the start, so I'll take it at the end.
Ah, it works for me. But the thing is, I'd forgotten. I forgot it was the end of the race. I knew it was the end of the race, but I forgot that Jake was about to cross the line. I thought this battle was a little bit closer to the leaders, but I would suggest that guy there, your race winner, should get driver of the day. Should be at least nominated, for crying out loud. Maybe Yuri as well, recovered from started last, P18 up to 4th. Good recovery drive. We'll have a look at the position changes with the final results as they start spraying champagne. I think Splinter will be happy to have still got a podium even though he messed up his Joker. Yeah, definitely Splinter and Jake as 2 nominees, and maybe Yuri as your 3rd. Those would be my 3 nominees for driver of the day. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's again brilliant race, really. Action everywhere. The top. Well, Gareth not really having to. Gareth basically just stayed 3rd, qualified 3rd, stayed 3rd. The top 2 coming from far down on the grid, but Gareth kept the consistency, which in this league you've got to respect. So if do we get 3 or do we get 4 driver of the day picks? Because
I don't know. I never choose. I don't know if we choose them at all.
We don't get to choose them.
I want to influence them. This is my influence. If these 3 drivers should be nominated, you could choose your 4th out of the rest of them. I'm pretty sure I would. These 3 drivers definitely deserve.
I'd pick Gareth.
Nominations.
I think Gareth has to be up there.
He's dead consistent. Started 3rd, finished 3rd.
Yeah, I'd put him up there. I think it was a good race, good first race as well. He's showing what he's made of and showing what he's worth, along with a few other drivers as well. But
yeah, that's two new drivers on the podium, locking out 2 of the places on the podium. The question is, Risky, where are we racing next week? Do you know?
The answer to that question is
Monaco. Oh, that was quite quick. It is Monaco. Oh, that's going to be an interesting one to watch. I'm stealing your word as well, Risky. Interesting. Stealing your words. Yeah, because it's a lot more difficult, and with simulation damage, I think if Japan causes carnage, we may see a return of the safety car taking someone out, like we had. I think was that season 1?
Yep.
Season 1 of Cup Series. But yeah. Next week we'll be at Monaco. Be sure to tune in to Jacko and Owen, who will be taking coverage of the Bahrain Grand Prix for round 3 of the Cup Series. Jake, congratulations. You are through to the playoffs with your automatic promotion. With that win, you'll get 20 points and 5 playoff points for the victory. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Have you, Risky?
Yeah, absolutely amazing race, to be honest. I don't think that went quite quick. From I'd said on lap 6, I was like, we've got age of this race to go, and now we finished. So the safety cars as well really brought out the race, and I'll hand over to you to sign us out.
To sign us out. Yeah, if you have enjoyed, be sure to keep an eye on the channel, notifications, all that jazz. Twitter. I've talked too long, Risky. Be sure to tune in on Thursday and next week for some more cracking racing. I'll see you next week.